And we back, y'all. Spread the Floor Pod, episode 2. It's your boy TSmith. I'm with my dog K2. How
Yes,
you doing,
sir.
bro? What's going on?
I'm feeling great, man. Feeling great, man. Before we dive into the show, man, we wanna first appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the love and support. I know we had dropped some snippets in the first episode, man, the other day. So first and foremost, man, appreciate the love. Y'all definitely blew us up. We definitely wasn't expecting that, man. So please show love in the comments. Please like it, and share it to whoever you want to, share it to, man. And man, we just appreciate the ride, man. So let's dive into it.
Yeah. It was overwhelming, bro. You know, it's always like nerves when you're trying something
No
new and like
facts,
you don't know how it's going to be
facts.
responded to. But to see how many people like supported it and wanted, like, what an episode that I'm trying to tap in right now. That was hella dope. That was hella dope. But diving into it, man, playing right. We're pretty much at halftime of the Suns and Warriors game. The Hornets Magic game just finished, so we'll just dive into that one. Wanted to get your thoughts about that Hornets and Magic game. Did it turn out how you thought? I know it didn't turn out how I thought. I'm interested to see to see your take on that one.
I didn't think it was gonna be like I did. I did think the Magic was going to win. I didn't think it was gonna be a blowout like that. I just think the Hornets didn't come to play. Right. I just did like as a
Yeah,
young team. They showed that they were a young team tonight. I think that they had a great season. Right. I wanted them to make it because of the fun matchup of Detroit and Orlando. Don't really want to see that. It's gonna be a nasty series. Um, them being a young team show tonight, man. I just don't think they came ready to play. Paulo, after him hearing all the noise and the critics, I think he came out with an intention. I think the Orlando Magic as a whole came out with an intention, and who I thought them as a team early, right, from the beginning of the season was going to show, right. They showed it tonight, right. The defense, them getting downhill. I don't think Paulo settled for threes as much, right. I thought him and Franz actually kind of played well together today. Desmond Bain chipped in a little bit, so had a little bit from everybody. Wendell Carter, right. I thought really played well today. So just think that, like I said, the Hornets didn't come ready to play, but it's what you expect from a young team. We talked about this last episode, right? You have to go through and get check marks. I think the Hornets did that. I think their trajectory is on the up and up, right? But you got to learn how to win big games, right? I know that they had one of the best records from January to now, right? But this is a different type of time. This is a different type of basketball you have to play,
hmm
right? And so although I love what they did, just thought Orlando was the more hungry team tonight.
yeah. I think it showed, like you said. I think it showed from the standpoint of Orlando's been in the playoffs last couple of seasons, so they kind of knew what playoff atmosphere was going to be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and it showed from the physicality. I think I hate to use this term, but they punked the Hornets. Like they just punked them early. They got after them physically. I just saw hella Hornets players just falling on the ground and shit. Like it was like it was, you could tell that there was a physicality difference pretty early on. And that's what gave them the lead, and they was able to. I do want to say that I was impressed by Paolo tonight. He gave me the game that I've been looking for him on a consistent basis. Right? Let's get away from that ISO stuff. Let's get away from the tweens, the side steps. When he gets it going, that stuff goes in. But like when he's downhill, for your 6'10", 250, bro,
So
and you got a
nobody can
tight
guard him.
handle. Like nobody can stay in front of you if you decide I want to get to the basket and shoot 8 footers all night. Nobody can stop you from doing so. So it was good to see him come out and establish that early. I think the Hornets just struggled to shoot the ball. The physicality was there. The same easy open looks they were kind of getting all year. Everything was pretty much contested. Con Knuckle struggled tonight, but he's been struggling in the later parts of the season. I think he's just tired. You play that long season with Duke, you go straight into the draft, you go in the summer league, you play whole 82 game season, play heavy minutes that whole 82 game season, plus all the extras. It's a lot. It's a lot on your body. He's a real jump shooter. He actually uses his legs when he shoots the ball. It's obviously going to play into an effect because he's never had to endure a season this long. So I think he'll be fine, obviously, but I think the fatigue wear on him. I honestly think it wear on a lot of the Hornets players in general because none of them are used to playing this long. So I think it was a learning experience. Sometimes you got to lick your wounds. I think they'll be better for it heading into next year if they stay on this trajectory. But I just think they got outplayed by a team that's not much older than them, but you can tell they've had playoff experience as well as a coach that's been in some battles as well. But hell of a season bomb. Really exciting brand of basketball that they're playing this year. I think they're probably still a piece or two away from being real contenders. Them getting a little taste of what the playoffs could be like, I think pay dividends for them in the future for sure.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Paulo, sometimes, man, I just scratch my head when watching him. Right, I know that he can be a great player. Not saying he's not now, but the way he picks his spots sometimes, I just think he allows the defense to guard him and dictate what he does, right? And like you said tonight, right, him at his best is getting downhill. You're 6'10", 250. Use the frame, okay? It's okay to go down and take a guy to a low block or to the mid post, right, and work out of that, right? And that way you can see the double teams coming. If they do come, like them having you in the perimeter and tween all of that, that works in defense favor, right? So until he understands that, until he understand where he wants to be on the floor, as far as picking his spots, man, he'll be a better off player, more elevated player. So
how they say that like Stephen Curry messed up basketball, like with how it's played now. Paul George messed up basketball for a
no
lot
facts.
of
Yeah. Him and Kevin Durant for sure.
Him and Kevin Durant has a lot of guys with 6'9", 6'10", and they don't want to be 6'9", 6'10". Like they want to play like guards, like smaller guards, and it shows damn near every year somebody comes out and they think that they, you know what I'm saying. But I was talking to my boy about this earlier this week. Wiggle is something you either got or you don't.
No facts.
Like it really can't be taught, right? Like it really can't be like as much as Jabari Smith Jr. has worked out with Kevin Durant this year, he has no more wiggle than he had last year. The shot selection is a little bit better. He's a little bit better of a better player, obviously. But the wiggle's not there. Like if you don't have it, you just don't have it. And it's okay to not have it. Some of the most efficient and best scorers the NBA has ever seen didn't have wiggle. LeBron James has no wiggle.
No bag.
None. But you know what he does?
Melo Anthony has no bag. Melo ain't got no bag.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real.
But what he do? I'm gonna master two moves, a tween hezzy pull, and a triple threat jab, and I'm gonna kill you with this. Yeah. You feel me? So it's like I just wish more guys realized and played to their strengths. That's why I can respect guys like Julius Randle. That's like, you know what? I'm just bigger and I'm stronger than you. I'm going to use this bull and a China shop mentality, and I'm gonna put my head down. And so what? Stop me from going left. I know I'm going left. You know I'm going left. Stop me. And I'm going to spin right if you cut it off. Stop it. If you can't stop it, I'm going to go get this 20. You feel me? So that's. I just wish more guys played to their strengths. But I understand that it's not as aesthetically pleasing. Everybody wants to have that, whatever, but aesthetics don't necessarily get you paid either. So, but good to see the Magic, man. If they can play similar to how they played tonight defensively and hit shots, they're probably not going to shoot it how they shot at night in the totality of a series, of course.
Yeah.
But they'll be a tough. I feel like they might be a tough out for Detroit just because. And you're probably going to allude to it a little later, but I'm just not as good as Detroit's been this season. I've been had questions all year. I don't think they have enough offense to sustain a long playoff run. So
that's something that we both talked about when it came to Detroit. Like I said, I mean, like you said, we'll touch on that a little bit later. But I think that series will be early 2000s, right? A lot of grinded out, beat 'em up games. Our guys that sports bet, guys and women that sport bet with us. Taking a lot of unders in that series. I'm taking a lot of unders on points and totals because I just think it's going to be a nasty series, right? The newer NBA fans that like getting up and down the court, you're not going to see that with this series, right? This is going to
freedom of movement will not be in that series for sure.
At all, right? It's going to be very physical. Very, 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 like I said, very physical, very tough series. And whoever comes out that series is going to earn it. I do think it'll be one of the longer series that we will have for the first round. So I'm excited as a basketball fan. A different style, right? Kind of bring me back to my childhood, but very, very excited for that matchup.
Yeah. And then going into the next game, I just peeked the score while you was talking. The Warriors did make a little comeback. It's 45-50. We don't really got to get into it too deep right now, but in
Yeah.
terms of who you think will win this game, who do you have?
Um, Me personally, as an OKC Thunder fan, I I won't go to state. I won't go to state. I want Wardell Curry. I want I want the guy, right? I want, he put on a performance the other night, right? I want Draymond Green, right? I still have a vendetta for Draymond. I know he spoke last year, like all the Thunders, they earned their champion. But I remember what you said a couple years ago, right? With that a bunch of guys, right, that sit in the huddle at the end of the games can't win a championship. Okay, so we want to see you in the 7 game series, and we're gonna beat y'all in 4. Y'all not getting the game. We're gonna smack y'all in 4. But as a we don't care either or, whether it be Phoenix or Golden State for Old Thunder. It'll be fun, probably Phoenix. I think Phoenix will be fun because of the Dylan Brooks and Shea matchup. But other than that, I honestly don't care who wins. Thunder in 4. We'll be on to the next series. But yeah,
As a basketball fan, I would rather Phoenix win just for I feel like a better first round series. I don't want to
yeah,
see this old ass geriatric Golden State Warriors team in the playoffs. Personally, I just don't. I don't even know how to put it in words. Amounts of respect for Steph and even Draymond, man. But the
yeah,
rest of
for
that
sure.
roster is dog water, bro. I don't want to see that in the playoff series. I'm just being honest. I don't want to see old ass Al Horford. I don't want to see. That's the thing. I don't want to see either one of them in the playoff series. I want them to get some rest. So I would much rather Phoenix. I think Phoenix is good enough to at least win a game, probably at
Yeah,
home.
yeah,
I think Devin Booker is good enough to get you a game. I would much rather see that. Either way, that series is probably going to be short, so it
yeah,
wouldn't matter too much. But I would much rather see Phoenix in there than Golden State.
yeah,
But keeping the playoffs, top of mind. Um, Pretty much the seeding is locked in right now. So,
yeah.
is there any matchups that you're looking forward to? Is there any matchups that you're excited about going into the playoffs? Yeah, pretty soon.
Yeah. A couple actually. I'm very, very excited for a couple of the matchups. The New York Atlantic series I think will be very, very exciting. I do think that the Atlanta Hawks has a chance. I do think they have a chance to come in there and steal game one. Right. I think the balance of them not knowing and them not like I'm just here to be here. Right. But a mixture of the veterans. Right. Like you got to CJ McCollum on their team at the end of the game. That's what they get the ball to. Right. That
Mm-hmm.
they give the ball to him. Right. And he goes in and makes plays for them and take them home. So I think they have the wing defenders right to deal with New York. Dyson Daniels will have his hands full with Jalen Brunson. So very very intrigued to see how that matchup play out. Want to see if Cat can own the boards. I know the Hawks is not as big, right? They're not as big, but they do crash the glass hard, right? Onyeka crashes the glass hard. Jalen Johnson. So I think Cat can have his way down on the block if he wants it. But very, very intrigued to see that series. And I'll give you another series that I'm intrigued. I'll let you probably talk about um, Cleveland, Toronto, or even Denver and Minnesota. But I am very intrigued to see that San Antonio Spurs and Portland Trailblazers matchup. I'm very, very excited to see that. Only because the style of play, right, that I think the Portland Trailblazers can pose. Right. Don't think Donovan Clean can deal with Wemby, but I think he can might give him maybe a little problem, right? He's kind of
He's strong.
strong, right? He's very very physical, and the uptick of physicality, right? Will uptick, right? You have a veterans on that Portland Trailblazers team like a Drew Holiday, like a Jeremy Grant, right? Has been there, right? Drew Holiday is a champion. Right, so dealing with that young Spurs team, I know Harrison Barnes and D Fox will have those guys ready, but the only champion on their team is HB and Luke Cornett. So just very, very intrigued to see how that series go, right? I know Denny is a guy that wants to get downhill, right? He's going to that right hand. He's getting downhill, right? So just trying to see how much pressure he can put on the paint. He showed the world, right, who he was the other night. And so just very, very intrigued to that Portland Trailblazer team. Like I spoke on earlier with the Hawks team as well. Like they just happy to be here, right? They wasn't expected to be here, right? So I do think playing free, right? All the pressure is on San Antonio. I do think very intrigued to see how they deal with the physicality, and just very intrigued, very excited and intrigued to see how that series will play out.
Yeah, yeah. That Hawks Knicks series, I think it'll be a really really good one. Probably could see six in there. I think that series is predicated on does Karl Anthony Towns play like he's 7 foot tall? Because when he gets to the basket as well as shoots the ball, the Knicks are a totally different beast to handle offensively versus when he's just settling for jump shots. And the Hawks literally don't have anybody that can.
At all.
Okongwu's a good defender, but he's 6'9" at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's only so much that he can do. I think Mitchell Robinson will have a really big series that series as well in terms of getting them extra possessions just off a size advantage. Raptors and Clippers, Cavs series. I'm excited about that one.
Yeah.
Got a couple guys who's, I want to keep an eye on. Brandon Ingram, I want to see how he looks in the playoff series.
Yes.
I'm a James Harden stan, so I want the Cavs to win, but I don't have a ton of faith. To be 100% honest with you, and that's really just because of it's really Evan Mobley. I know what I'm gonna get from Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs. I know I'm gonna get the attempts. If he hits or misses, I know he's gonna shoot the ball.
No, he getting them up.
I can never fault that. I think Harden makes them better in terms of just getting guys easy looks. But I say it every time, damn near we get on the pod, man. Evan Mobley's the X factor for that team. So their ceiling is literally as high as he wants to take it. I think that he's good enough to win them a couple of series if he decides that he wants to. If he can average 22 points and around 8 or 9 rebounds, Cavs have a shot. They have a legitimate shot in the East to me. It's just what Evan Mobley are we going to get? Are we going to get a double-double or are we going to get a guy that struggles to get 10? It's just he's a toss-up sometimes. The Trailblazers series that you talked about, I find it interesting because with Denny being a downhill bandit like he is, especially getting to that right, and Wemby being down there, that's really tough to game plan for. Like you can't practice that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how he'll play. One thing I did underestimate is the impact of Drew Holiday. He makes everything he's on better. Like defensively, offensively, steadies the pace.
Yep.
He's a Hall of Famer, probably, right? Like at this point in his career, you can pretty much pencil him in as a Hall of Famer. So I think it'll be interesting, but I think the Spurs will pretty much get him out of there in probably 5. A series that I'm super interested in is Anthony Edwards in the playoffs is a different guy. So as I think the Nuggets
he beat that Nuggets team 2 years ago too.
That's what I'm saying. I think the Nuggets will win. But at the same time, I didn't think the Timberwolves were going to reach the Western Conference Finals last year. Yeah. So their biggest flaw is they just don't have a point guard. I don't. That's the thing that makes it hard for me to buy a lot of stock on the Timberwolves is the fact that Anthony Edwards is a scorer at heart, and he's became a better playmaker. But in the games where they need to get into something and get a quality look, who's going to get them into that? I just don't know if they have the player that's capable of doing so. So, but I am interested to see. I think that'll be another 6, potential 7-game series, which bodes very well for you if it does later down the line. So
absolutely,
yeah. So we'll see, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for this playoffs just in totality. I think it'll be a really really good one. I think we have a lot of good first round matchups, and I think we have a lot of style clashes, which is what makes good fights, right? Styles make fights. So I'm excited. I'm excited for sure.
Yeah, I'm with that Portland Trailblazers Spurs series too, man. I think one thing people are not noting, Tiago Splitter, right, is the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. Him going against San Antonio, I think that would be very very fun. He knows that team well. He knows how they operate. Now this is a different version of the San Antonio Spurs, but he does know how that team operate. So I'm very very interested to see how he gears up for them, especially as a head coach. Do want to get your opinion on one thing. Do got a question for you before we get to the next topic.
Yeah.
If you look as we look at through the first round series, like we said, we got most of it all wrapped up. Give me a player, man, who you are looking forward to the most to see how they would play, and then who do you think will be the biggest X factor, right, on the court for their respective teams in the first round?
Um, Great question. For me, in the first round,
Yep.
I'll give you one on the East and I'll give you one on the West.
Yep.
On the East, I'm looking at Jason Tatum.
Okay.
Um, Obviously, he's been playing, off the Achilles, and he's been getting better and better every game. But the playoffs is going to ramp up a little bit. I think he's done a really good job in terms of like trying to play himself back into shape. But this is going to be a different workload, right? The adrenaline is going to be a little higher. The game might be a little bit faster. It's going to be a little more physical. I'm looking to see how comfortable he can get. And we haven't seen a ton of him and Jaylen Brown playing at the same time. Like either one's been out or, the minutes have kind of been staggered. So for them to both, have a whole series together, I think that'll be big. I think the 76ers won't be easy either. Tyrese Maxey is playing at a really, really high level. So Jaylen Brown will definitely have his work cut out for him if that's going to be his matchup. And if that is the case, then Tatum's probably going to have to pick up that scoring load if he's going to be chasing Tyrese Maxey around because he's fast. He might be the fastest guy with the ball in his hand
Not yet.
right now. From the West, Bron, I just want to, for the narrative, I just want to see if he can do it. Like, I know he probably can't. I know he's old enough to the point where he should not be able to, but I just want to see it. I just want to see if he can or if he can't. It'll be sad if he can't because it'll be like literally watching my childhood dwindle in front of my face. Uh, but I just want to see if he can do it. And on the flip side of that, on the Rocket side, uh, Reed Shepard, yeah, I think he'll probably be the X factor for the Rockets in that series. I mean, they should win it anyway. But if he plays really, really well, I don't think the Lakers even have a chance. So, I'll definitely be looking at Reed Shepard. Who do you have?
Yeah, same for you. I'll go East West. On the East side, I know we talked about the series earlier, man, but I'm really, really looking at that Hawks Knicks series. Nikhil Alexander Walker, right? I know he's a guy, right? That's came on as of late. Has really been playing well all season. I think if he has a great series, I think the Knicks are on upset alert. I think he provides another scoring punch, right? That the Hawks need. You got CJ. Jalen Johnson's going to do his thing, right? But another guy, right, that provide that scoring for them has been the kill, right? And I think if he plays at a high level, right, how he's been playing, I think the Knicks can be in a long series, right? Which I don't think they will want. So a guy like him, guy like Jonathan Kuminga as well, looking to see how their role players fare in the series with the Knicks. And on the West side, I'm looking at that Denver's Minnesota series, right? I'm looking at that series, and for me, I can't fingerprint one person, so I'm just gonna say whoever role players play the best, right? I think the stars are going to be the stars, right? I think this has 7 games written all over it. I don't think I know that the Timberwolves don't have a point guard, but he shines bright, right? And when it comes to the playoffs, right, they are not scared of the Denver Nuggets. They've beaten them already before, right? I know Rudy is going to get killed, right? But that's going to happen, right? But I just think whoever role players come up to play, I think that's who's going to win the series. So Cam Johnson, Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr., Christian Brown, right? I'm looking at you guys, right? And on the Minnesota side, right? Terrence Shannon, can you play well, right? Nas Reed, DiVincenzo, right? Io, they went to go get you for a reason, right? Can you guys play well in the 7-game series, right? To prepare that the Minnesota Timberwolves, because I do also think that the Denver Nuggets can be on upset alert as well, right? I know Jokic is going to do what Jokic do, right? But I do think that the stars cancel each other out when it comes to Maul and Jokic and and Randall. I do think they cancel each other out. Now the others, right? Others, which others going to come to play for that series? So those would be my X factors for those East and West.
Yeah, yeah. That's you pretty much hit the nail on the head. That's kind of what determines series for the most part because each team has one or two stars that they lean heavily on. And the old moniker is your stars got to travel, but your role players got to be big at home. So that's why home court advantage is such a big thing. Yeah, I'm hoping in that Nugget series that Cam Johnson or somebody can get it going for them. Wish Peyton Watson was fully healthy how he was playing earlier
He's
in the
another
year.
one.
I would
Yeah,
have definitely gave them the nod. But yeah, I need to see something out of Cam Johnson because right now that trade is looking one sided from my perspective.
I
Uh,
agree. I agree.
so so yeah, man. Next topic. So playoff wise, right? And we kind of talked about who we kind of got on upset alert. Um, Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals. If you had to pencil it in today, who you got?
I'll start out West. I think for me it's a little bit easier than the East. Western Conference Finals, I do think it's set up for OKC and Denver to meet and have a great 7 game series, another one
Mhm.
like last year. I do think Denver can get past Minnesota. I think they will have probably the hardest road because I think they're going 6 or 7 games with everybody they play until they reach the NBA Finals. Whether it be Minnesota, I think San Antonio do get past Portland. 6 or 7 game with them, right, and then a 6 and 7 game with OKC. So I think OKC will be waiting for them, right? I don't think that they have anybody in their path. I think Houston defensively will probably try to give them a series, but I just don't think offensively they don't have enough pieces to compete with OKC. And I hate their offense at the end of games. I just hate it. It looks awful. Um, on the eastern side, it's a little bit harder, right? I think this one a little bit tougher for me, um, because it's like who, right? I'm gonna give Detroit right the benefit of the doubt. I will give them the benefit of the doubt. I just I don't know if they have enough, right? But I also don't know. I want to pick Cleveland, I do, but I've seen James Harden and Donovan Mitchell time after time after time again. I do think that they have the star power to
Hmm.
beat Detroit. I think they have enough guys on that team that can make shots and has made big shots, right? A James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, a Max Strus, right? A Dennis Schroeder. That's why you go get him. So I think he would be very motivated to play in that series. But I'm going to give Detroit the nod. I'm not going to continue to overlook them. Um, the second team who I think they will play, I'm like once again, I'm going to show some love to the Boston Celtics, right? I think that they've been um, a good team, right? Over the course of the season, right? I'm going to show love to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, right? I just think the star power is going to do that. But I will not count out the New York Knicks. I just don't think that the Boston Celtics match up well with them currently. I think that the New York Knicks are built to beat the Boston Celtics. They have the wing depth. And I don't. I think Jalen Brunson. There's no. I mean, Derek White can try to guard him, but I don't think that they have anybody to really guard him unless Jalen Brown go over there. I mean, if you got JB over there, then you got a different thing. But I'm gonna show love to the top 2 seeds in the East, man, and say that it's gonna be Detroit and Boston in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. West, I think it'll be OKC, of course. Uh, I think Denver edges out the Spurs. I really do. I think from a experience standpoint, I think you got Jokic, right? You got Jamal Murray, you got championship DNA. They brought back Bruce Brown. Like they got a lot of guys that were integral on that championship run. So I think that'll be the West. East, you're gonna hate this. I think it's the Knicks and the Cavs. I really do. I think if the Cavs can get out of that first round series, I think they can beat Detroit. I do. I think Cade will probably go absolutely insane that
Yeah,
series, but I think they can beat them. Just because, like, kind of how we say, I just don't feel like they have enough offensive firepower. Cade and Duran is pretty much capable of getting you 45 to 50 a night.
Yep.
I don't know where the other 70 is going to come from. Tobias Harris is here today, gone tomorrow. Duncan Robinson is streaky. Ron Holland doesn't get the minutes to like really, really affect the game a lot of the time. So I don't know where that's going to come from. And I know that Donovan Mitchell, and as sporadic as James Harden can be, he's good for 140-point playoff game, which is probably going to be a win. Donovan's good for 140-point playoff game, which could probably be a win. I like them. And then from the Knicks standpoint, like you say, I think they're a tough matchup for Boston because of their lack of bigs. And they have bigs, but like slower bigs. Like they're going to be able to pull Kata away from the basket with Cat, right? And so that's going to be easy driving lanes for other people. On another token, the playoffs is all predicated on matchups. Somebody's going to have to make Jason Tatum guard. Like I know that Achilles is repaired, and I know you're back playing and everything, but like, can you get into a stance for 40 minutes tonight, East to West? Because as we can already see, he doesn't create the same separation that he once created before the injury, right? Which is, you're
Expected.
8 to 9 months removed, so it's whatever. Can you guard though? Can you keep your team out of compromising positions? Like, because if you're getting drove by and the defense has to help, like, that's open shots for somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested in that series for sure, but I think the Knicks can win it. If I have to give the ball to somebody at the end of the game, Dylan Brunson is at the top of that short list of like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I need to win it. 1-4 flag. I need one. I need a good look. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it'll be the Knicks and the Cavs, bro. And I think the Knicks could probably win that series. And then they'll probably get dog walked in the finals, in all honesty. Whoever comes out of the West.
Whoever comes out the West,
in the finals, more than likely. But it would be a really cool story if Boston was to make it with the whole Tatum and Jaylen Brown. You know what I'm saying? If Boston was to make it out, though, I don't know. I don't know. Depending on who comes out the West, it'll probably be OKC. But Joe Mazzulla, he's as close as Dan Hurley in professional sports as you can probably get. So he's a madman when it comes to matchups and putting people in tough positions. So I think it'd be a good series either way. So yeah, that's pretty much who I got.
Yeah, I wanted to lean Cleveland heavily with that Detroit series. I just think, like you said, styles make fights, man, and I think I think Detroit can impose their will physically on that Cleveland Cavaliers team. I'm just gonna be honest. I just think they're soft. I just think that they're soft, and I think that Detroit. Now, granted, like I said, I don't know where that scoring is coming from. Don't know where it's coming from. Okay, maybe it's Tobias Harris, maybe it's Kevin Huerter, Javonte Green. Or I gonna pin like I don't know where it's coming from, but I just think physically they can muck it up for Cleveland because they know they don't have the horses to deal with that team. I just think physically they can muck it up. And if Evan Mobley does not come to play, I don't know what happened to Jared Allen. I hope he's ready to play. Like I said, I hadn't seen them four play a lot of minutes together, so I'm very intrigued to see how those guys play. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that is the Eastern Conference Finals as well.
You don't think if Jared Allen's healthy with Evan Mobley, you don't think they can slow down Jalen Duren?
I do. But I do think that they have also the defenders to, I won't say slow down Donovan Mitchell, but make it hard for him. I think in that series, James Harden is the key. Just like, honestly, I mean, both series, the Raptors, I think he will be the key. Him and Evan Mobley, and then I think in that Detroit series, he will be the key because all of the focus and attention is going to be on Donovan Mitchell, will be on those bigs, right? So he can go. If JB Bickerstaff is smart, I do think he cuts. If he's smart, I will put the best defender on James Harden, right, and cut the head of the snake off because without him, I don't think their offense is going to roll the way it needs to. It's not going to flow the way it needs to. And we've all seen if you can take James Harden out of a series, you pretty much got a good chance to win the series. So I think they'll be fun matchups. I honestly, all the East matchups I think will be very, very fun and exciting to watch.
Yeah, I think in that series, my X factor for the Raptors is going to be Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
Kind of what I told you. I feel like I would really like their chances if they played Scotty at the 5 and just went small. Like I know it's kind of a little abstract, but I think I would really like their chances because he rebounds the ball well enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I have a little vendetta against Scotty Barnes because he's burnt me. I think the last 4 times I put him on a ticket. One of my homeboys played in college with him at Florida State, and I told him, I said, "Yo, so don't ever," because he loves to. He's a Scotty Barnes guy, right? By
Yeah.
default, so he's like, Scotty's one of the best. We need to stop having those conversations. My pockets are saying otherwise, right? So, but I do think he is the X factor in that series for sure. If he's in the high teens, around 20 points a game, I would probably lean Toronto. But he's going to do whatever it takes to win. That's just type of
I'm
player.
intrigued to see how they play Cleveland. If they do play him at the 5, I mean, you got Scotty, Bi, RJ.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going quickly and shit? Is that the 5 that you rolling out there, or?
I think you do just because,
Yep.
Playoffs is about matchups. You got to make guys guard. So
Yeah.
if you got Shed and Quickly in there, you can kind of hunt James Harden a little bit
Yep.
and see.
Yep.
Right,
And
and
pull
break
those
down.
big guys away from the rim. They have to guard. I don't know if Toronto can shoot it well enough. But they have to at least honor the 3-point line. So
Yeah. I think that's why they got rid of Darius Garland, in all honesty, Cleveland, just for the playoffs. Not saying that Garland, is a bad player or nothing, but at least Harden's 6'5".
yeah.
Like that helps. But when you got Garland at 6'1", realistically, and then Donovan Mitchell, they have him listed at 6'3", but he's probably closer to 6'2". That's really hard in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's hard to hide both of them, but it's a little easier, when one guy's 6'5", about 6'6". I can't wait, bro. I'm gonna be glued the whole playoff series. These episodes are probably gonna roll out damn near every night, every other
Yep.
night. You feel me?
Yep.
So I'm just excited for the playoffs to even start, and hopefully we have some really good series, man. It should be.
Do you have an Indiana Pacers team? Do you think there's a team that can go through the playoffs like the Indiana Pacers, or at least upset some teams, or go through that first round matchup and then take one of the higher seeds?
I think the closest thing to it this year, Hawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was leaning Hornets, but then I was talking to my boy the other day. I said the difference between Hornets and I think me and you talked about this on the Pacers was Pacers had Pascal Siakam, who's the second best player on the finals team, and Rick Carlisle, who's won a championship. So like Hornets didn't have that, right? And it showed tonight. But the Hawks, I mean, they have some guys that's been in some longer series, as well as their style of play. It's harder to game plan for them, kind of like I was saying with the Hornets, because you really don't know where the scoring is coming from. Like, Jalen Johnson's probably going to get around 20. CJ's going to get around 15 to 25. It can be either way. And then Nikhil, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a regular 15. That could be 30 if you don't play it correctly, right? And then even Dyson Daniels can chip in and give you 12 to 14. You know what I'm saying? So they have a lot of guys. Even Kaminga can come off the bench and give you 12 to 14. And Draymond Green alluded to it, when you're playing in the playoffs, they're not necessarily role players, they're swing players. There's players that can swing a game or two in a series, which can be the difference in y'all winning or losing. And I think the Hawks have a ton of those. Which how the Pacers had a bunch of those last year with Mathurin, with Obi Toppin, with McConnell. It's just like, so like, you know what I'm saying? There's no drop off when they go from starting 5 to the 8 or 9, man rotation. And I think the Hawks are pretty similar to that. They play super fast. They're all interchangeable defensively because they're not the biggest team. They switch really well. And as much as Nikhil Alexander-Walker scores the ball, he's a hell of a defender too. So I think that's what makes him as good as he's been this year. He's probably the most improved player, right? Like, no brainer.
I don't know. I think you do give it to him, because Denny missed that time. But that was my
Yeah.
first time watching Denny, like watching a game of his. He is like, he's nonstop basket. Like I'm going to this right hand, I'm going to the rim. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing. Like I'm going to put pressure on the rim to go
Kind
to
of
the
seen that in
basket.
the Olympics.
Yeah. I think him and Laurie. I think going over there, the Olympics and having their Euro Cup or FIBA, whatever they have over there. You've seen that over there with them, and got great improvement. But yeah, I think you do give it to Nikhil. Jalen Johnson may have a case as well, and Denny. I think those would be the three guys. I'll shout out a guy like Dylan Brooks as well. I think Dylan Brooks, scoring wise, if he didn't get hurt,
He held
I
it
think
down for Phoenix this year.
he might have a case as well. But yeah, man, like you, I do think Atlanta. I don't think they can shoot it well enough, but I would not be surprised if you've seen Orlando Magic in the Eastern Conference Finals. Wouldn't if they could buy in, I wouldn't be surprised because I think they have the tools to beat a team like
They're
Detroit
deep as hell.
and beat a team like Cleveland. I think they have the tools. But I won't pick them. I'll go with the other six seed in the West, Minnesota. Right. I would not be surprised if Minnesota again finds herself in the Western Conference Finals because I just think that you can't count out a guy like AE, and I just think that their role players, like they got some high quality role players on that team. Right. I know they don't have a point guard, so that can hurt them at times, but I just think they have high quality role players, and I don't think they're scared of Denver. Don't think they're scared at all at San Antonio. So would be very, very intrigued to see that series as well. How AE fares against San Antonio. I think that was one of the better games of the year as well. I know they had an earlier matchup um, um, as well. So I'm gonna go with the 6 seed Minnesota Timberwolves. Man, I think they can have another run to get to the Western Conference Finals and
Yeah.
maybe compete to go to the NBA Finals.
And Julius Randle got that monkey off his back last year
For
in terms
sure.
of being a playoff guy. So I think that bodes well heading into this year of him playing with confidence, knowing that like I'm not going to shrink. You know what I'm saying? Like I think a lot of guys can act like the media and like the narratives don't affect them, but they hear it, and
Yeah, for sure.
all you need is a seed of doubt. You know what I'm saying? To take root and you kind of start questioning yourself a little bit. So him playing as well as he did last year, I think that helps them moving forward for sure. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we wrap this up?
No, man. Just very, very excited to get going. Any upset teams you see on alert in the first round? Anything that could be out of the ordinary? Do you think a Toronto Raptors team can upset the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round? Would you be shocked? I know. Health is a thing as well. Do you think that they can beat
Um,
them?
I, I wouldn't even really call that an upset. To be honest, if it was to happen, I wouldn't even honestly be super shocked because I'm kind of with you. I want Cleveland to be good because of how talented they are, but I do think they're a little soft. Um, and they're 8.5 point favorites right now, which is way too high
Wow.
for my take. So yeah, I don't like that one bit actually. Yeah, that's super super high. I honestly do think going back to Orlando Magic, I think if that series goes deep, it's a toss up to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And,
I just don't. I don't think it's as cut and dry as people probably may seem it out to be.
Mhm.
I, I don't know. I don't know about Detroit and
Yeah,
Cade too. The healthy Cade, like, how healthy is he?
because
You
it's
know.
it's a collapsed lung we're talking about,
Yep.
right? Like you
Yep.
can't do any conditioning on that, bro. He's
No.
going to be out of shape.
Yep.
And we were talking about it before we started the pod, but Jalen Suggs is not a defender I don't want to be in shape for.
No,
You
I
feel me?
agree.
And Anthony Black is getting like that too. Like I was watching it and I was like, damn, like, hey, low key is hounding the hell out of LaMelo. So
Desmond Bain, not a slouch on defense either.
no,
Franz can guard him, a little bit. So whoever can shoot the best, I think that's who gonna
hmm
win. Whichever team can shoot the best.
I think what's it, Dennis
Yeah.
Jenkins. he's going to be huge in this series, especially if Cade is not in shape, because he's going to
Yeah.
have to play heavy minutes. So if he can sustain that point guard play while Cade kind of gets into shape later and later in the series, I think they'll be fine. But a lot of it's going to be on some guys that have never really had to prove themselves in the playoffs before. So it'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Very, very excited, man. 12 o'clock coming. I'll be sitting down watching
No,
all day. So I'm excited.
yeah. So just to wrap this up, hey, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Um, keep liking, keep commenting, keep sharing, favoriting everything that y'all are doing. Is showing us a lot of love. It's putting the battery in my back for sure to keep pumping these things out as much as possible, knowing that y'all are anticipating it. So, kind of like we said earlier, the love that we got just based on a couple Instagram posts and the TikToks was wild. So, we're going to try to do as much as we can, get out as much as we can, and keep giving y'all the best content that we can. So, yep.